Hi Homeworthy, I'm Nick.
And I'm Ant.
And welcome to our Victorian house in London, England. Come on in.
This summer, spend the hottest months of the year in style with Homeworthy as we visit the most extraordinary homes around the world. From the sun-soaked shores of the Hamptons to the classic beachfronts of Nantucket to the vibrant courtyards of Morocco, be sure to subscribe to Homeworthy's summer series to make every day feel like a vacation. You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story.
Hey, I'm Nick Toteda. I'm a content creator / interior designer.
Hi, I'm Ant Cushion and I'm a content creator, and this is my beautiful husband, and welcome to our home in London.
So the story of how we met, I like to say it's very different to most couples out there. So I'm Canadian originally, but I was visiting the UK and seeing some friends. And I was just strolling around in this little beach town called Bournemouth in the UK. And this one was a bit of a fan of me. So he'd watched my coming out video on YouTube that went kind of viral. And he thought he saw me on a dating app. And then to make sure it was me, he went on Instagram, slid in my DMs, and said a very embarrassing, do you want to say it?
No.
No. So what the DM was he said, what is my crush doing in my hometown? But hey, I replied, and 7.5 years later, here we are, married, in this beautiful house in London with our baby, Winston. It's a cat. I've always had like a love for interiors, and I've always wanted to be a part of it. I just didn't know to what extent, like I'm doing now. And so during COVID, Ant and I got very, very bored, as most of us did. And back then we were in Toronto, Canada. And so with all the money that we had saved up over the years, we bought our first property, and we were just like, we always wanted a property that we could do renovations to and make our own. So our first ever property, we just did very, very minimal things. We loved how the house looked, but we didn't love the neighborhood. So we sold the house, bought another one, and that was our first ever like single property. And then we did the same exact thing all over again, but we renovated a house in 3 months. So after doing our 2 houses in Canada, we had to make a decision. So as a international couple, we only had 2 years each in each country. So once Ant's 2 years was up in Toronto, we had to make the decision whether we moved to the UK full-time or Canada, and we chose London, which is where we are currently. And we love the city. There's always something happening, and I think for us as content creators, it's a great space to kind of be in. And after a year of being here, we just got really bored again, and we were like, I want another project. I want to start renovating again. I mean, I think we both have it in our blood where we're like, if we're not doing a project for more than like a month, we get bored. But this house in particular, nobody wanted. So we visited it 3 times, I think over like 3-4 months, and no one was bidding on it.
It's because it was super overpriced.
Yeah.
I mean, not even the developers that come in and buy homes for their business and actually want to make money on them would even look at this, probably because it was so derelict, but it was also really, really overpriced.
Yeah. So we just kind of kept an eye on it. I mean, you know, it was in total shambles. I think that, I mean, is that a British term? I'm using British words now.
I mean, think of total shambles and then times it by 100. Yeah. That's kind of what this house was.
There was damp everywhere. There was mold. There was like falling apart, like with like cement. I don't even know.
I mean, the ceilings, yeah.
I mean, to the point where like most people like would walk in and walk right back out and go, no way.
I think that's what most people did until we viewed it for the first time, and that's exactly what we did as well. We walked in, we said, no, we'll see you later, we'll move on to the next house. But it wasn't until like 2-3 months later we came back, viewed the property when we were walking in the area. We got into negotiations with the agent that was selling it. We brought it down in price to something that we could afford. And then we were left with this derelict home where we spent all of our money on buying it, and we still needed to renovate it.
So we had to be really, really good with what we did, like project-wise, and we had to be so good with our budget. So we did do the whole thing with the help of contractors. So unlike our 2 homes in Canada, that was all us, but this one we had to have the help because we weren't used to old British homes. I mean, this house is almost 200 years old. I mean, there was horsehair in the walls. Like that's how they used to like plaster walls. We weren't used to this, especially like, I think our homes in Canada were like from the 80s, so very, very different decades. So we got the help of contractors, but in terms of making it visually what it looks like today, I like to say that was all Ant and I. And we did get our hands dirty, especially him. I mean, there's videos of you like knocking walls down and stuff.
It was pretty crazy. I mean, when you say it was Ant and I, again, everything you see here is because of Nick. Like, you wouldn't want me designing your house, trust me. Let's just not go there, but...
We'll let you pick out the tile in the guest bedroom.
Guest bedroom? I know, I did do one room in this house.
Now, a year and a half later, the house is pretty much nearly finished. There's still a couple things that need doing, obviously, but I think we're ready to show them the house.
Welcome to our living room. Let's explore this one first. It's a room that, only recently just got designed. Like we've gone through a few design styles in this one over the 2 years of which we've finished our house. And this is probably the final one in which we're really, really happy about.
Yeah, so this is the room that I've definitely gone, I would say, the funkiest in. I mean, minus our office, which you'll see at the very end. But so I think I think actually my design has evolved as this house has evolved, and you'll see kind of throughout. But yeah, so with this one, I kind of like didn't want the Victorian aspect at all. Again, minus on the actual structure of the house. So the moldings, the old moldings, and then these moldings. But with the actual furniture in the middle, I wanted to go totally like funky 70s. And I've always wanted to do like a dark couch. So let's talk about that first. So this couch, I sourced from Alibaba. So again, it was like $500.
I think $500 is a really good price in comparison to this kind of design style of couch would probably be like 1.5 minimum in like a normal retail store. So I think we've done really well finding this.
Yeah, and normally I think I in the past I would probably play it safe and I would have gone for a white cream couch just to make sure it's all kind of cohesive, but I really wanted to go a bit crazier, so I went for browns, and then I matched all the browns with the art. So this art I love so much. So we go to antique fairs like every Tuesday, and one of the art dealers there had this beautiful piece, again, from the 70s. So we're kind of tying that look back in here. And the second I saw this color, I was like, that's the color of my couch.
It's unreal.
Yeah.
How we were able to buy this and a week later go to an antique fair with the exact same color palette was kind of meant to be, I reckon.
So this was perfect. But now if we go this way, my plant's kind of taking over a little bit.
Apparently plants grow towards the sun, who would have known?
So now for the plants, so I kind of told this story earlier, which that was boring. But anyways, I'll say it again.
Can we skip past this, guys, and go over here?
So this is an 80-year-old yucca from, again, Facebook Marketplace. So a lot of my finds are very cheap. So this was like 30 pounds.
10 pounds. It was literally 10 pounds.
And this woman had it in her house for 80 years, and now it's in my house, and it's growing over my chair. And then I have an actual dealer that sources pots, like physical pots, from Turkey. And again, these pots are not crazy expensive. I think in most design stores, these would be like hundreds, if not thousands.
Minimum 1,000, I think.
But this was 100 pounds. And it's like a few hundred years old from Turkey. And I think it kind of, and I don't love color too much. I mean, I do love tones of brown and stuff. So, but I don't like to bring in other colors. So I think by having like terracottas and more like natural color, that's how I like to bring it in.
But I do think that also ties into the couch and the overall browns we have as well. So I think that as a piece actually really works well in this room.
So if you're sat in this chair, you've got some beautiful shade from a tree. She used to be growing up, but anyway. So these chairs I also really love. So I got 2 of them just to kind of match, and like I think you'll see in my house, but I love cohesiveness, and I love like
symmetry, doesn't it?
Symmetry, yeah. So, and they're very simple, and I didn't want to take away from the brown, like the very dark brown couch. So I went for very simple suede chairs.
Honestly, I think as people walk in this room, they notice the couch so much.
Yeah,
And it pairs with that art piece. So I think going kind of more subtle and tying into like the flooring texture, those kind of color palettes, I think works well, keeping the couch as like the main centerpiece.
yes. Yeah, and I think so. It's also why I went lighter in the rug as well. So again, I didn't want people's eyes to kind of go everywhere when they walked in. So I just discovered this kind of rug recently, and it's like, it's so cool. So if you just go like that, it changes color. And so I kind of wanted a rug where you could kind of always have like different patterns and stuff. So
You're gonna do a dance in here and create a different pattern?
some like with some like
I tell you what,
Irish dancing.
the cat does do dancing in here and he scratches the heck out of the carpet. It's a nightmare, but
Yeah.
you know, it is what it is when you have a cat.
So even though this rug is like a simple taupe color, I think it always changes as you step on it and you walk. And it also kind of shows that this room does have life, because most people walk in and go, "Oh my God, have you ever breathed in this room?" And I'm like, "Yeah, look at my rug. There's like footprints everywhere." So it kind of brings life back to the room.
Let's move over here. This is one of my favorite pieces we have in this room.
Yeah, so I've always wanted a burl wood table. So when I saw this one, I instantly cried, and then I said I will come pick it up right away. And I had this one drive, because I can't drive.
Are you kidding me? Yeah, that's the desk, Burwood. This one we ordered online.
Yes, both.
I'll keep correcting you on this.
No, it's fine. So like I just said, I don't love color too much. So again, I think the natural burl wood kind of has its own natural kind of different tones of brown and stuff. So again, not too colorful, but it kind of brings life to this room. And I love a burl wood because just like my taste in interiors, it's always symmetrical. So the pattern in burl wood will always be the same on either
so interesting.
side.
I wouldn't know that. But I think, honestly, as a common theme in our overall house, you'll notice how we find really like pieces that we love at a reasonable price. I think
Yeah.
looking online, we saw thousands and thousands of these kind of coffee tables in Burwood, but they cost us thousands and thousands. And when we came across this one, it was at like such a reasonable price. I can't remember how much
I
it
think
was.
it was a few hundred, but then I'm like finding discount codes. I'm like, I think it's like this whole space, like to furnish, must have costed something like 1,000 to 1,500 pounds. But to furnish a whole room, I think people would be surprised by that. And I think a lot of people would think it's a lot more as well. So I think we did pretty well.
Good team effort.
Good team effort. It's not showing, but this is usually a frame TV. So
We should turn it on. Then. We should
yeah.
turn it on.
There we go.
Voila.
Okay. So yeah, when I think so this is a Samsung frame TV, not sponsored. We paid the whole money for it, and it was a lot. I think that was the most expensive thing actually on this whole room.
It doesn't quite fit into the furnishing budget because we didn't account for this, but
Yeah.
these are really expensive. But what we do love about them is this is a really famous piece of artwork that we can have in our house. We love artwork, and it blends in, and it's actually a TV. So
There we go. Moving
you're
on.
missing something really special.
Oh, what's this?
I installed this
yes.
as
Oh
a
my God.
temporary fireplace. It was my goal as we were renovating this house to, yes, have a fireplace in here, but I didn't expect to keep this one for this long of a time. And yes, because you love it.
So this is one of these, and you will see many of these in this house tour. But this is one of those things where I had a vision and Anne said, ugh, no. But everybody that comes in loves it. So the original fireplace of this room was not very pretty, annoyingly. So we had to take it out. And I found this one again on Facebook Marketplace for like 75 pounds. You never know. And we haven't finished the actual insert yet, or the inside of the fireplace, but what we did temporarily was put some cute candles, and when they're lit up, it looks quite nice.
But this is a replica of a King Louis X, I think, which
Yeah.
is like a really well-known fireplace. Can you believe that? Like there's these people that love fireplaces.
And I think, the detail is amazing. And literally everyone that walks in goes, I love your fireplace. So I think it's going to have to stay.
Look,
Sorry.
I'm still searching for the right one for me. We'll see. Should we keep it or should we get a new one?
Let us know in the comments. So going back to, again, different ways of adding color without adding actual color. I love, love, love a stained glass. So when I saw this chandelier with like brown stain, I thought it would suit the space so, so, so well. So, and again, it adds color, it adds something without having to like paint different colors or
It also adds light.
it also adds light. So again, my pot dealer sourced 2 more pots for me. So I got 2 more Turkish pots in the far corner there, just to tie into this one and to tie into the whole kind. I don't even know what vibe you'd call this. There's a lot of different
Art Deco,
styles. Art Deco, burl wood, like from the 70s.
Yeah, we've gone for an
Modern
on-budget,
organic or like 70s organic. I don't even know.
on-budget Soho house, I think. That's what we'd call this.
Thank God.
The last thing I want to mention is how we tied in the arches, because the entrance as well, we have a huge arch, and then we also added these arches here. There used to be this squared off kind of storage when we first bought our house, and we wanted to bring that kind of Victorian Scandinavian design into it. So we added arches throughout the entire house.
And lastly, all the moldings in here, which again, I wanted to tie back into the era of the house. These ones are actually new. So Ant and I had to install them because part of dealing with builders is they'll do a lot of mistakes. And we learned that the hard way, especially cowboy builders. And they took out the original moldings in this space. So instead of just I cried a lot, but instead of just crying and giving up, we put some moldings back in, which would have been, to the original taste.
I mean, these are actually Edwardian styled covings, but it was really annoying how derelict this house was. And in fairness to the builders, it would have taken a lot more money to restore them to their original state. So honestly, as much as we cried a lot about them removing them without telling us, we're really happy with the finish of adding new fresh ones in. I think it looks super clean. And again, restoring a period property, you really want to keep original features as much as possible. Unfortunately, for this room, we couldn't, but in the next room, we could. So let's head.
So before we head to our next space, which is our dining room, just to show you guys the difference. So these we added in, and in our hallway, would have been the original moldings from when this house was built in the late 1800s. And you'll just see the layers and layers of paint. So in a way, it's kind of cool that we have the new and the old, just to really tell the difference. But I'm so glad that our builders didn't take these out by accident, because I would have cried for a month long.
Oh no, they were about to, but we
Yeah.
just kind of put our foot down and said, you're not doing that.
We also pay them, but yeah. Sure. All right, well, anyways, let's head to the next space, which is our dining room. And this is our dining space. So I think very different to the first room that we saw. I actually put some color in this space. So the blue that I used is from a company called Lick, and they've done our whole house. But this is a Victorian blue that would have been used back in the day. So I did want to use some original colors. And since this is more of an enclosed space, I thought that it'd be great to use it here. Unlike, I think, our kitchen and living room, they kind of guide you through the house versus this is more of a separate space. So I thought it'd be safe to have color in here. And also, so there's a lot of art in here. So with this room in particular, I really said, whatever is going to be on the walls, I'm going to have to the decade. And whatever is in the middle, I went very Scandinavian and modern, including our light fixture here, which is very modern.
I think this is very modern, but I mean, the brass element that ties into all the artwork that we have might kind of blend it in. People aren't coming into this room and saying that's a really modern piece, are they? Yeah. I think what their eyes are drawn to, although that is quite a substantial size light, I think people are more so drawn to the artwork that we have in here, these super old oil paintings that we absolutely adore. And I think are scattered around the entire home.
Yeah, everybody's always asking, who is this beautiful couple? Are they your grandparents? Are they still alive? We actually don't know. We just love the way that they look in the space. We had these two lights installed as well, so I knew I wanted like two matching portraits. And so yeah, again, when this person on Facebook Marketplace had the perfect couple, I was like, stop what you're doing and get the car out. We're driving there right now.
These might be like the future versions of us.
Yeah, I think what's really funny is when people go, oh my God, like who are those people? Like she looks a bit rough. I go, oh my God, that's my great grandmother. And they go, oh my God, I'm so sorry. But she's not.
What's really insulting is when people come in here and they say they resemble you. I'm like,
Yeah, so who would be who? I think that would be me. Like she looks like she bossed him around. So that's probably
can you imagine in today's generation having a beard like this? I mean, I'm not knocking
a
it.
goatee.
No, I don't think that's
Is that what a goatee? Hey, he was ahead of his time, guys.
Okay, we're not going to be judging people because I don't think that's who we are, but we love them regardless.
And I think you'll notice, so if not all of the metals in this house, minus our doors, they're all brass. So the brass always ties in everywhere you see. I think in a space, all your metals should match, but that's just the way
I mean, there's definitely some interior designers that mix match metals. It's something that we haven't done here. But those brass elements really tie into this as well. Probably the centerpiece to this room.
So the centerpiece is this table. And again, I'll mention price because it was ridiculous. So I think, how much was this one?
£100.
£100 on Facebook Marketplace.
And this is from the company Heels. So
Yeah,
you know
it's
how
like vintage.
expensive Heels are?
Yeah.
This is 12 years old from Heels, so it's a really lovely vintage piece as well. You can't find this today.
So I actually bought the chairs first, and when I found this table, I was like, oh my God, they match perfectly. And it was like that fear of like when you buy a table, but you're not sure if the chairs are gonna fit. I was like, please God, please, please. And then it fit, and I was like, oh, thank God. The portraits continue. There's some more faces that we don't know who they are, but again, they were all painted and done in the same era as this house, so we love that.
Well, no, way before, to be honest.
Well, some are before, yeah, some are a lot older.
Some are like as old as 300-400 years old.
And especially, I wanted this room to feel like, like a Harry Potter, like where they had their dinner every night. And it's why I think with this space, I kind of went crazy with the portraits and the old mirrors, which you'll see, and the lights and whatever, because I wanted this to feel like an old dining room. And I think having all these pieces kind of adds to that. But yeah.
I mean, let's both agree on something. I know we couldn't in the other room about the fireplace, but I think with this one, we definitely agree on.
So the story behind this fireplace, again, you would think, either original or really expensive. So Facebook Marketplace, I'm gonna keep mentioning them. We're not sponsored, I swear. This was £400, real Carrara marble fireplace that was in a beautiful townhome in like Kensington that the owners just didn't like and we're gonna throw away. So we said, no way you're doing that, and we took it. And so now it gets to live its life in our house. I mean, it's beautiful, like it's stunning. I don't know why people would want to get rid of this, but anyways.
I don't know, they have lots of money, so they're...
Hopefully they have a lot of money.
We really love a good deal, so I think it's a common thing, as you're probably finding out about us. You can have design, but it doesn't necessarily have to be expensive or you have to pay the big bucks for everything.
Exactly.
You can find really good deals if you take time, and I think we're big believers of slow design, really finding meaningful pieces, but over time.
Yeah, and I think, people are scared of secondhand stuff, but I'm like, actually gives it character. Like this table had like all these kind of like scruffs and marks on it, but it's bound to have that anyways because you're going to be eating there. So I think it actually adds the character. I think there's more stories behind it. Like this fireplace has seen like 20 plus families. This is really cool stuff to have in your house. So yeah.
Moving on to other cool stuff. This is where the fun happens.
My favorite part of the dining room, the bar. So this bar, £10. I can't make this up. Like £10. And yeah, I kind of wanted a mix of funky glasses. So we got like, again, bringing back that kind of 70s like Art Deco. I bought these glasses with bridges, but we also have like the traditional like Scotch glasses. So I kind of wanted a mix match of things on here, and I think it all works really well. it works great on a Friday night when I want to drink, so that's all that really matters.
I mean, our friends love it.
Yeah, our friends particularly like this bar.
They couldn't care less about the artwork and everything we have to say about this house, but they do love the bar.
They love it.
So I think we've done a great job there.
Yes, we have.
I don't know what it is. It must be the design of the bar.
High five on the bar. Cool. So originally in this space, there was this old like French door that was falling apart and the glass was broken. So both our back doors we had to replace. And we really, really like the curtain style doors. So it adds a lot more light because before there would have been this extra space up here, and it would have been like a wooden door, so no light would have came in here. And so we completely did glass curtain, and I think it actually kind of works with the space. It is black, which we're used to doing brass. I kind of wish I would have gone brass.
Oh,
but
like, can you do crystal doors in total brass?
yeah.
That would be so expensive. And
I know.
as you know, that probably doesn't fit us.
And as we know, we're on a budget, so we had to go with the black, which still looks really pretty. So now let's go through the second arch in this dining room, which takes you to our kitchen. And just like that, welcome to our kitchen.
This is, I would say, totally different to all of the rooms in this house. I would say this is super Scandinavian design.
Yeah, so I think with the kitchen, as much as I could have, done a Victorian kitchen and done like, some people make it look really nice. I've always wanted my dream like full marble island, and that wouldn't really work with the kind of more traditional cabinetry and stuff. So I just said, screw it. Let's just go full Scandi in here. Though I do have some essence still of the house with the old portraits that you'll see in and around this kitchen, and some knickknacks as well that are like, a bit more vintage. But with the overall space, I really wanted to go scanned and like clean and modern.
But you just mentioned about this dream island. We've never ever in any of our homes had an island, and we were adamant to make this island work in this house. And the only way we could have done that is by completely reconfiguring this kitchen. So over here, there used to be, believe it or not, a pantry right here with a wall going all the way down, and just over there was a utility room and toilet here where the plant pot is. So we actually moved the toilet all the way over there.
Which we'll go to after.
We knocked down a few walls, blocked in a window that used to be here, and that meant that we could have our dream island. So it wasn't an easy job.
It wasn't easy, but I think it works really well. Also, what a lot of our neighbors did, which a lot of people will do in London, is they'll knock this wall out and extend, because there's a side garden here. But we actually liked how the bay window was originally here, and it brings enough light in, and I don't think you need more space really. So for us, not only did it not fit in our budget, but it wasn't, I think there was enough space in here not to have to do that.
I mean, we were already going through hell when it came to renovating the house. It wasn't easy. I just couldn't imagine, not only cost-wise, but just the whole logistics of trusting a build team to add an extension on it. It's something that I didn't want to tackle. I've never been there. And I think that was maybe just a step too far. So we didn't do it, but it's not saying that we couldn't do it in the future.
Yeah, it's a bit also because a lot of people that buy homes in London that have the same layout, and a lot of them have the same layout, will do that. So it's just to show you that you don't have to, and you can still make a smaller kitchen work. I wanted a marble that had some pizzazz to it. So even though it's white, I wanted some crazy veinage. So this is probably the most fun that we've ever had of our renovation process. But we went to like a massive stone factory and looked at a bunch of slabs of marble, like blue ones, brown ones. And when we saw this one, I think we both fell in love with it. So it's Italian marble, which I've always wanted in my houses. Like my last two had quartz, and that's fine, and they're really, really pretty, but I really wanted it in this house.
Was that a mistake though? Because, all those parties that we have, it's left a few stains.
Yes, but you can always buff marble and make it look new again, so that's fine. We love the pattern of the marble, so I wanted it everywhere. So I also did it as a backsplash, and there's these cool little shelves, and I think it works really good. I mean, there is actually a lot of storage in this kitchen, surprisingly.
I mean, there's a lot of storage. We have our plates in here. We had hidden storage for like all of our
storage, yeah.
things. I mean, we have a whole pantry over there. I think there's more than enough. I mean, for London and having relatively small houses compared to outside of London, I think storage is a big component into homes in London. So I think we've done really well. I mean, we could have added cabinets up here as well. But I just think we prioritize design over functionality for the entire house. But I think it's still a good amount of storage.
And to keep to the clean look of the Scandi-esque kitchen, we did invisible handles on all our cabinetry, so you can't actually see it, but there's like a dent where you can put your fingers and just pull out. And all the inserts of our cabinets are an oak as well. So again, just very consistent, very clean. And I really wanted that with this kitchen. So
Is there one last thing about this kitchen?
well, so people might look and they might go, where do you plug your stuff in? I'm not seeing any plugs. And again, I wanted a clean look. So I said no plugs on the outside. But what we did do is hidden plugs. So, I mean, ignore
Whoa.
how messy it is in here.
I didn't clean the pantry.
So imagine it was a really clean pantry. This is just us being very real.
I think they can envision plugs being inside there.
Okay, but yeah, essentially, if you open this door, there's a plug on the inside. And so if I want like a blender here, I'll just show.
Okay, we just show you. Come on.
There's a plug here. So we can have our blenders, whatever here, and just plug it in this way. And that's a nice way.
That's enough.
And that's a nice way if you wanted to have a really clean look on your kitchen and didn't want like plug sockets showing, that's a nice way of doing it.
And I think just the final thing for this kitchen is probably matching the back doors as we had in the dining room.
Yeah.
We've gone with these crystal doors as well.
And when we're in here cooking and it's like cloudy half the year in England, or actually 8% of the year, we really wanted as much natural light as possible. And I will show you the backyard very soon, but I also wanted to have as much greenery back there as possible so that when I'm cooking, cleaning dishes, I can look out and always see greenery, which we can move on to now.
Let's go in the back garden.
So I know we mentioned most of the design was me, but I do let Ant collaborate on some aspects. I think with whatever I pick out anyways, I always kind of go through you.
Yeah, I mean, we use Pinterest and we have a Pinterest board to collaborate. As long as we both love it, I'm just gonna say yes. And when I'm very adamant, I really hate something, he does listen and we don't use it. But honestly, 90% of whatever you choose anyway works, and I just trust him. So I'm happy sitting back doing the dirty work. I mean, getting the builders in, organizing the budget schedule, while you sit there and like scour the internet for beautiful products to put in the house.
Yeah, I will say, I think we work really, really good as a duo. I think a lot of couples might fight a lot during renovation processes, but for us two, we're kind of like a match made in heaven, just because he's actually really, really amazing at like project managing. I think with all my renovations, I like to stick to the kind of era of the house and location. So with this house, I think a lot of people in London tend to just like knock the whole house through and make it very modern, and some look amazing. But with this house, I wanted to keep to the era that it was built in. So it was in the very late 1800s. So I really wanted to bring back the essence of how they would have lived back then. So I actually kept most of the rooms separate, like it would have been in the 1800s, but I just arched everything off. So there's still that open plan living, but with the original Victorian layout.
Although we kept to the main layout that they would have back in the Victorian era, we did open up the kitchen, for example. We knocked down a few walls in there just to create a more open plan. So, and we opened up the back of the house as well. We created this massive door that there used to be just like this tiny little window and door back there. So, you know, we've really combined the historic elements to more modern day living as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I think you guys will see that in this house tour. But I really love how it turned out. And I think the mix of Victorian and Scandi / funky modern really go well in this house. And yeah, I'm just really proud of like our journey, because this was our hardest project. Yeah, it took a year and a half to do versus, 3 months in Toronto. So it took a lot to get to this point, but I think we're both really happy with it. We were on the brink of divorce a few times, but hey, that's all part of a project.
And we've done 3 now, so if we haven't divorced now,
The next one is coming.
I mean, is
Fine,
coming.
get a lawyer, get a lawyer involved. So.
He's got the prenup.
And welcome to our garden. So with this garden, it doesn't look very traditionally British. I think you'd probably be thinking you're in the south of France or Italy. So this is a whole DIY job as well. I think you guys will see the before footage, but this was a jungle. When I say jungle, there was like vines growing all over the house. There was these massive plants. It was just a mess back here. So Ant and we both got down and dirty for once, and we were the ones ripping out the weeds, ripping out vines. And so what you're seeing today is all us.
But honestly, this is super serene. I mean, we filled it with plants.
Also, the second I found out that you can grow tropical plants here and they'll live all year round, I kind of went ham. So I planted this as like a baby.
It was like this tall.
It was like this tall. And like over a year and a half later, she's massive now. I've got some English lavender, which looked a lot prettier a few months ago when it was in full bloom. And with all the furniture, I did teak and beige. I just think, again, it just suits that kind of like Provence style look. And with the stones, I did some traditional English beige pea stones. It's also a foot therapy for those that come here barefoot. It's great. Very grounding. I think one good thing about having like a backyard with sun is that plants grow so well in here. And all the plants that you're seeing are evergreens. So even in the midst of winter, when it's like freezing cold in February, these will all stay green, which is nice to have a view of from the kitchen where you're cooking and stuff. So we get the sun here all day long, but I thought it'd be nice to have the different areas to sit if those that wanted shade or if you wanted sun, and as it moves, the sun comes here and then that's shade. So I got a really cute little bistro set in the middle here to sit in the shade if you wanted some shade. And oof, too much sun. Great, isn't it? Nice and cooler here.
We should use the bar in there and pop open a drink.
Pop a drink.
I'm actually tempted to do that right now.
And yeah, some more Mediterranean plants like an olive tree, which actually produces olives, which is crazy. Fan palm.
Oh, you can see lots of olives on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do have olives.
And my new favorite plant, which is an agave plant, which is how they make tequila. So I can make my own tequila now. So a lot of people wonder how I started in content creation, how we were able to afford that kind of house like this at our age. So I started content creation when I was 14. So over 11 years ago now. I mean, that makes me feel really old. And
I mean,
like,
who at 25 has had an 11-year career already?
Me, apparently. So my career's pivoted a lot on YouTube. So I started off doing like our own home films with my friends back home. And I was the director, producer, main actor, everything scripted, as I should be. And then I started seeing it more as like, it was kind of like that era of like Tumblr and like DIY. So then I started getting into that. And then I got into DIY slime, and then that's how I completely blew up on social media. It was like overnight success. And yeah, so I had an era of my life where I was making slime for kids on YouTube for like 4 or 5 years. And that's kind of how, I got into social media. Then after 4 or 5 years of doing slime for kids, I was getting older and I was like, this was fun, but I don't really see myself, doing this forever. So that's when I decided to take a really big risk on my YouTube channel, and I came out as gay to 2 million plus people. And it was honestly, it was a risk because, I mean, a lot of my audience didn't know I was gay. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them assume, which is fair enough, as they should.
I think everyone knew.
Yeah, I think everyone knew. But I had to come out, and then I had to take that risk of losing, a lot of my audience. So I did it, and since I've done that, I've started doing more content that's real to me. So that's when I got into more LGBTQ lifestyle. And then I met him, and then that's when we get involved.
I mean, I wasn't a content creator before. I just met Nick, and for the first year of creating videos together, the audience would kind of see glimpses of me.
So after a lot of convincing, I got Ant to join in on all my YouTube videos. And we were kind of like, I don't want to say pioneers because that sounds like horrible, but we were kind of like one of the first gay couples to openly show their life on YouTube. So this was like back in 2017, 2018. And there were many others out there. And now there's like a bunch, which is amazing for us to see because I would have loved to have seen that as a kid growing up as in the closet. But we started doing lifestyle content together, showing our life, getting engaged, getting married, and then buying our first homes together. And that's kind of how we brought in the property aspect as well. So we filmed all our home renovations in Toronto, and then we of course filmed this house renovation for YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all social medias. And that's kind of how we pivoted more into now interiors and home, though we still do a lot of lifestyle content as well.
It seems like you've always been creative though, whether it be like DIY slime or like interior design.
Yeah.
You know, you're creating things, right?
Yeah. A lot of my interior taste, you know, you'll see references from my slime era. Yeah, like this brown couch, for example.
You make brown slime?
Yeah, multiple. Like guys, it was 5 years of slime content. There was a lot of different slime varieties that I made. So yeah, like literally think of it, I made it. Slime version. So on our way to the staircase upstairs, we almost forgot, but we have the bathroom, which we had to switch from that far corner to here. So it's a very cute powder room. And in the smaller spaces in my house, I think you'll notice, but I love to color drench, which is when you paint the whole, like the whole room. This one I didn't fully do because the moldings are still white, but in a true color drench, you do everything in the door and everything, which you will see upstairs. But yeah, I thought it'd be cool to go a bit crazier in this room, so I went for a dark green, forest green color. And I think it matches the brasses and the marble sink in there and the Aesop browns and stuff.
This room, I would say, is a work in progress. We still want to develop it a little bit by adding moldings in there, potentially a different color on the moldings as well. We could even go a step further and add wallpaper.
A lot can be done, but I think smaller rooms are the ones that you should experiment in because if it doesn't work out, hey, it's a tiny little room. We can always repaint, whatever. So that's where I like to experiment the most, but you'll see that more upstairs.
Let's go upstairs.
Let's go upstairs. And this is our cozy guest bedroom. So this is probably the room that, looking back now into how much I've grown as an interior designer, I'm the least proud of. Just because I find it very plain and very simple, but I think that's great to have in a guest bedroom. I think most of your guests are coming from Canada, are coming from the US, are coming from parts of Europe. So I think for them all to come into one space and feel very calm and relaxed is great. Though if it was me today, I think I would have done something a bit crazier.
What would you have done?
Like darker color walls. I would have probably done a funkier bed, but you know, again, as you're doing a house up, I think even your taste in interiors can develop. But yeah, so I think overall with this space, I went very zen. I just wanted I wanted some tones. There's not much color in here, but I did choose beige. And I think it kind of suits though with, the overall essence of the space.
It feels quite earthy in here and quite grounding. I think that's really good for guests. And
yeah,
obviously, if you have something too crazy and too wacky,
they might not feel comfortable in our house, which we don't want that.
Everyone walking in here is gonna love it.
But one thing we didn't skip out on this room is the structure of it. Oh my God, what a nightmare. Do you want to talk about it?
I mean,
that's your forte. Yeah.
Because this room has the most amount of structural reinforcements of the entire house in just the smallest room we have here in the house as well. So we've got a beam under here. We managed to take out the chimney breast because this is such a tiny room. There's not much room to really walk around.
Just when we bought this house for reference, the ceiling was the same height as this hallway, which I'm touching right now.
Out here.
So you can imagine how smaller this room felt. And the only way we could have really expanded was to go up. So we knocked the whole ceiling out and tilted it with the actual roof. So above here, there used to be like a storage. And I was like, there actually still is a storage and we got to keep this way. But I didn't need a massive storage that went all the way this way. So we knocked that out and we create a bit more space. And actually, I think by doing that, even though the square footage didn't change, it feels so much airier and bigger in this room.
But knocking out the ceiling, we didn't quite realize it until the structural engineer came to visit. He said we actually need a huge beam now running through from the edge of this window all the way through the house. And that's what you kind of see here, this big block.
And it was a pricey mistake. For some reason, I was naive and was like, yeah, I can just knock a ceiling out and that's fine.
You can just take out all the structural beams, that's fine.
This is why I need him. I mean, and this is why I think we work so well together, because otherwise I'd be living in a house and the roof would fall on my head. I didn't mention this either, but throughout the house, all our lights are on dimmers. So again, I do not like the big light. So with all our lights, our guests can choose to have it really bright or if they want a cozier vibe. So all our lights are on dimmers, which I think helps with overall mood and feng shui of the house. But yeah.
Okay, moving on to the one room in this house that I actually designed.
So proud of you for the one design you did.
I've been waiting this whole tour for the last 9 months.
He's been waiting his whole life for this. Come on, let's go.
Come into the guest bathroom with us.
All right, show them your proud baby.
Okay, come in. I mean, it is very, very small in here, but again, we kept those tilted ceilings that we saw in the guest bathroom, and we added them in here, which made smaller rooms just feel so much bigger with these 12-foot ceilings.
Yeah, so this would have been the primary bathroom of this whole house, and there was only the two. So there was one downstairs, which was tiny, and then this one. So we added a bathroom in this house, but that'll be for later. But yeah, so with this space, we kind of co-designed this, and I wanted, since it was so small, I kind of wanted something bright and airy. So with the marble, this is Calicut marble. Then I took some veinage that had some beige tones in it to add some earthiness to it and make it a bit more different than just white marble.
I love the fact that you said co-designed.
Yes.
Because although I did run through most of the decisions in this room through Nick, like we did choose most of the materials in here together. There's one thing that he did not approve on, and I just had to tell him, look, the project's not going to move forward unless we buy the floors. So I matched the same Carrera marble on the floors. They're just tinier versions, which I think look really, really cute.
Yeah, and you did a great job.
Thanks, Biz.
So we get a lot of questions on our social media about like how we transformed this home to where it is today. Have I had training in interior design? So I have not. I went to school for social media and then dropped out. So I've had no training whatsoever. I think honestly with interior design, I think you kind of have to have an eye for it to a certain extent. But I think another thing that's really important is like people assume that you have to have a big budget as well, which is probably the biggest question that we always get as well, is how much you've spent on your house. Guys, we don't spend that much at all. I think we have a gift for being able to create a really, really cool space, but with not spending that much money. So I think it's all about being able to source products for a really great price and then putting it together, which like in my head I can do, and it sounds like crazy just saying it, but I don't know, what would you say as someone that, you know, also dabbled now in interior design? What's your advice to the audience of like how to start and where to?
I mean, when we first started with our first property, we couldn't even paint. So we had no idea what we were doing. I would say like the number one thing that stops people from getting to where they want to be is probably like fear. So we just kind of like dived in. I think that's a bit of naivety, but honestly, no matter like we failed a lot, we like wasted money here and there, and like we did some like really terrible like decisions that we had to fix over and over again. But it's like, I guess for us it was through those things that we got to learn how to install our first kitchen, how to tile, which kind of led us through like every property that we've ever redone.
Yeah.
Kind of just dove in head first and always picked a challenge.
I think with whatever property you end up doing or room project or whatever, you're never gonna be fully prepared for it. So just go into it, and I think you'll just learn a bunch of things as you go on. And that's kind of what makes you better for your next one, and then your next one, and your next one. And get your hands dirty, and that's how you save money. And also it's how you'll be the most proud of your own property, because you're like, well, I did that, I painted that, oh, I installed this, and I built this from IKEA and whatever. So
I mean, every inch of this house, because we built it,
we had
know every detail, from how high the plug sockets are from the ground, to just every product in this house, like underneath it, what you see, just everything. So yeah, I mean, if you want to ask those questions, let me know, because I can brag on about
the
that.
gap between a molding and a plug socket. This is your man right here. He knows. All right, so now we're on what we like to call our floor. So the room behind me actually used to be one big room. So what we did instead, because Aunt and I didn't really need another bedroom, what we did instead is we cut the room in half and created a walk-in closet / laundry room and a ensuite bathroom, which you'll see after this. So the first half of this old bedroom is our walk-in closet, which I did color drench. So you'll notice when you come inside, all the doors, the moldings are this very cool brown that I love. But yeah, come on in.
And even as a British person, I agree with the Americans on this one thing. We need an entire room for our laundry.
Yeah.
It's not going in the kitchen.
So I don't know why this is a thing in Europe, and the UK, but most people actually have their washer dryer or their washing machines in their kitchen. That doesn't make sense to me. So we had to put our washing machine somewhere, and I said, well, the closet makes the most sense because it's where we're putting clothes in and out. So we actually DIY'd this whole space as well. So we got these cabinets from IKEA, we installed them, made them floor to ceilings, installed these cute little handles, and all our wardrobes are all in here. It's a bit messy at the moment. So the vibe I went for in here, again, I think is like kind of going back that Scandi from the kitchen, but I wanted to go bold with colors. Think Aesop brown.
We wanted our laundry room to be like an Aesop studio.
Yeah.
I think we've managed that pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I sell some in the back if you guys want some. So
Come in there.
if you come to the back of our walk-in closet, there is our washer dryer just behind this curtain. And then on this shelf over here is where we have all our different like pods, detergents, scent sheets, toilet paper. So yeah, it's all in one area, so it stays very clean, stays very organized. And I'm mostly in here doing laundry. I don't think you're ever in here. Is this your first time seeing this washing machine?
Yeah, but I spent a lot of my life in the closet, so I've had enough time in here already.
Yeah.
Let's head into our bedroom.
And this is our bedroom.
This is my favorite room in the house because not only do I actually get some peace and quiet and relax in here.
Oh,
no judgment, no targeting there.
Yeah,
but it's really my favorite color scheme in the house.
Yeah, so I think when visiting this derelict, abandoned house, this is the room that gave us the most hope. So the second I walked into this space, when it was the house that it used to be, I was like, okay, wait, I feel so relaxed and comfortable, and I had like a good feeling about this whole house just because of this space. So it's honestly, if it wasn't for this room back in the old house, I would have bought it. I just think the light, I mean, we've got 4 windows alone in this one space.
And it's the brightest and biggest room in the entire home, and it's the one that didn't need as much work at all. I mean, there was just one damp spot.
Yeah.
And apart from that, we were pretty much good to go.
It was like a glimmer of hope in this very derelict house. But let's have a walk around. So again, our budget stories. This was free off Facebook Marketplace. So someone was just giving it away. This old wooden, so again, it matches the kind of wood tones in this space. And so when I saw it, I was like, free? Number one, let me take it. And number two, it just helps to like hide a lot of our stuff. As you guys might have noticed, I'm very clutter-free and undiagnosed OCD. So to be able to shove things in here and have it look pretty from the outside is amazing.
But one thing that is kind of similar to the whole house is this painting. And this one we actually have a story for. So this is a mayor of Kent.
Oh.
And there's 5 paintings of him done in the period that he was mayor. This is one of the 5. And the other 4 are in the Civic Centre in Kent. So I'm not sure how this one escapes. But
So if you're ever in the Civic Centre in Kent, go see it.
I have his name as well. I have a tag.
God.
So this is the mayor of Gresham, 1921 to 1923, painted by James Clark
All right, let's move on.
in
Okay.
1858.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, that's great. That's great. So I think also what we did to keep to the essence of the house downstairs is we added some more moldings in here. So these ones I really, really loved. And again, I mean, they would have had a similar molding to this in this house. This one had no moldings in this room when we bought it. So we had to add our own anyways.
Well, I mean, these are like a more relaxed version of all the crazy ones and funky moldings we did downstairs. So I think for a bedroom, we want that more calming vibe and less in your face.
All right, so now for the centerpiece. So as you guys can see, we actually custom made the headboard to match pillows. So this is a great company called the Pure Edit. And we got to pick out the fabric, the actual shape of it, and to the point where I got to pick out the brass beads that go all the way along. And they did matching pillows, which is so cute. But yeah, so this is our bed. And I wanted something kind of cozy yet funky. So I think this pattern with this color, you know, really matches that perfectly.
It ties into that Graceful 2 paint as well.
Yeah, so this color in this room is probably one of our favorite colors in the whole entire house. Yeah, so it's Greige 02, which Greige is, well, what you think it is, beige and gray. And I think it just looks really cool and calming and very zen, which is what you want in your bedroom when you're going to bed at night.
It's kind of got those green undertones though. I would say
which
more
I really like.
green than a beige anyway. So I think that's kind of, I mean, it works. And it probably works with these beige pillows as well.
Yeah, I think the colors really tie in very nicely. And I think, again, we always have to make sure that whatever we pick color-wise in the space, it needs to match brass because we've done brass all over the house. So I think it matches quite well. This might look familiar. It's the same chandelier that we have in our living room. So clearly I liked it. Again, I love stained glass and it adds more color to a space without having to add actual color. Also, this is our little momentum. So you're looking at the room that we're currently in.
This is our friend Tash's book. She's actually the color designer for all the paints you see in the house. We featured in a little case study in her book, not that one. And so we have the entire house and we broke down kind of like our color palette that we used. Winston, the cat, obviously made...
He made the cut.
He made the cut.
Yeah, so I think it's quite cool just to have this. I mean, this was always like our dream to be in a home book. So I think just seeing this visually, I'm just like, oh my God, we've come such a long way. I'm just so grateful. And I just think I'm just so happy to where we've come today.
I'm also grateful for the people that are around us that, you know, give us opportunities like this to feature in this book or share our home on a channel like this.
Now we're in our little reading nook of our bedroom. Not that we really read, but we sit down here and go on social media. Another book that we have in our space that really means a lot to me anyways, is, let's have it shown. So Studio McGee is a massive inspiration to everything that I do in my style of design and everything. So when I have to have her book also in the space.
I bought you that as a Christmas present.
Yeah, it was very nice of you.
But honestly, it manifested into our own life, our own version down here. So I think,
it's great. And also one to mention, which all our guests and friends love, which our neighbor got us. You know, she just really knows us so well. Like, this pretty much describes us to the T.
I mean, it's accurate and it was kind of built and made for us. Honestly.
Someone's grandma had to knit this to a pillow. And she's like, oh, I hate this generation. Thank you, Granny. Love you.
I think that's from The White Lotus, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
These gays are trying to kill me. So moving on, we have the fireplace. So this is the only original fireplace from the house. So all of the other ones looked nothing like this, so it's why we kept this one in.
We didn't even paint it either.
Yeah, I didn't even paint it. Like this would have been the original like color and like whatever. So yeah, this is the original fireplace.
And there are plans to knock it out as well and actually...
No, oh my god, I thought you meant the fireplace. I was like, who are you kidding?
No, I actually like this one. This is one fireplace that I will genuinely keep. I just mean knocking out the inside,
Yes.
genuinely adding a fireplace in there, which we can do.
Yeah, but all our fireplaces in the house were all covered. So this is the only one that's actually stayed covered. But all the other ones that you've seen all had to be knocked out. So yeah. Now, so when I first spoke about that bedroom that got split in half, this is the other half and it's our ensuite bathroom. So let's go into it. So this is our ensuite bathroom. So yeah, again, this would have been a room that we split in half. So we kept the same moldings as our bedroom in this space. I think with the high ceilings, you need to have moldings, so we kept those. This might look familiar. So this is the same exact stone as we have in our kitchen. We had extra slabs, so our marble guy said, hey, let's not waste this and let's use it in your ensuite bathroom. So we did. And the girl who also custom made our kitchen, custom made this vanity for us. So I designed it, she sourced it, and we put it all together. So you can't actually buy this. It's all custom made.
This is a one-of-one piece if you want to get fancy like that. But in all honesty, we just couldn't find a double vanity, a his and his.
A his and his. How progressive.
I know, good job. We couldn't find one online that really suited our vibe, so we had to design one ourselves. And actually, you know, we could create a business out of this, I guess.
Yeah, I kind of like how we didn't make it too simple. And, you know, we have all the bevels in the wood and the kind of legs that are shaped a bit more flamboyantly. Is that a word?
I mean, as if
we needed more flamboyantness in this house. But yeah, and also I really liked how we ended up doing the sink onto the wall. I've always wanted one of those sinks that are like on the walls.
And honestly, I mean, as much as they look really, really good from a build perspective, if anything goes wrong with these taps and they start leaking, it's going to be a disaster because we can't access any of the mechanics behind it. So I think design-wise, they look amazing, but practicality-wise...
Let's not worry about that. That sounds like another issue for another day.
Let's hope nothing...
But what is cool is that you might notice as well, none of our like toilets have backs to them. So all the backs are in the wood. And so our closet that you guys saw behind it is how we access the toilet. So if this was to break, that we have access to from our closet. So if you go behind our clothes, there's like a wooden board and you take that out. And then that's...
I forgot as well, we were quite smart when we designed this because we also have access to the shower head as well, the mechanics behind that, in the backside of the closet. So, you know, if anything goes wrong with the toilet and that, we're fine. If anything goes wrong with this, we're screwed.
Sorry. Now we're in the shower. So this was probably the biggest disagreement of our entire house project. He was not happy about the curtains, but I think they turned out really cool. So I know your first thought is those curtains must have mold from top to bottom. Well, they actually don't because I sourced individual curtains. So this, even though it looks cotton and it feels cotton, is actually waterproof. So I got this from Turkey, weirdly enough, again, as our pot, but different dealers. But this is waterproof membrane curtain. So when we shower, all we have to do is just put this layer first, dish it back, and it's completely waterproof. And I think adding curtains was a bit of a bold design move. I think a lot of people would not do the same, but I think the shower was so big that I was like, I kind of want to add some layers to it, not just like a plain glass. So I think the curtain works really well. I mean, people either love it or they hate it.
I hate it.
There we go.
And look, I just don't think it's totally waterproof. I think what it is water resistant.
No, this is actually waterproof, this layer here.
As long as you wash it, I think we're good. But I would have honestly preferred a glass. But honestly, our first intentions with this ensuite bathroom was to make it feel like a living room. So adding these curtains in here, the moldings as well.
Yeah.
We could have even added a fireplace here if we really wanted to make it feel like a cozy living room.
I mean, like, even as far as the flooring, I mean, this is waterproof wood, which matches the tone of our other wood in our bedroom and then the whole first floor. So yeah, again, I wanted this room to feel like a room in a Victorian house almost. So I think by adding the curtains, the moldings, and the wooden waterproof floors, you really get that essence. And when you walk in, though, I just find having that drope is just like so satisfying. It's just
doesn't
so
look
pretty. Yeah, it looks really good.
It's just not functional.
Not functional? No, it is actually properly functional, and only you think that.
Sorry.
And then for the tile in here, I went a little bit bold-ish. Again, all the same tones that we have in the rest of the house and even this bathroom. But I wanted to stick to the same. So for this, I wanted to set something a bit more like handmade, almost like Spanishy, just to make it different to this side of the curtains. But yeah, you can't even tell because with this separation, it's so, but it all kind of ties in as well. But
I mean, there's one thing we could have done here, which was add a double shower head. I think
yeah, we could have done two and then showered together, but no one wants to see that. So it's probably for the best.
Well, there we go. We didn't do it anyway. So, and that is our ensuite bathroom. We have one more room remaining, which is the office.
So this is actually the loft of our house. So this is now third floor in American terms, second floor in British terms. So I completely color drenched this loft. I've always wanted like a dark office vibe, and I think I've pretty much nailed it in this room. So this is again actually a purple, which I was a bit like hesitant about painting, but I think it just suits really, really well. Let's talk about this space.
Okay, I think purple only works with the furniture and how you design it, okay? I think this could go either way depending on what furniture you have in your room, but I think with this old kind of classic style, gentleman's club, kind of dark office vibe, I think it works really, really well.
Yeah, I think so. It's actually not fully finished yet, and a couple of things are still gonna change. Like these chairs aren't gonna be here. I'm gonna have like a bit more like 70s. So with the overall vibe, I wanted like the same vibe as in our living room. So that kind of Soho House-esque, funky. So this table, 75 pounds. I'm not even kidding you.
This is the Burwood that we have downstairs as well.
Yeah, so this is original Burlwood though. And again, it's flipped. And this was like, I guess, Art Deco. That chair is the same that we have downstairs. I think it just suits with that kind of vibe so well.
The rug is very similar.
The dark rug as well, which changes color as you move around it and add that kind of character. And then this painting, which we found, and the second I saw it, I just loved the dark tones in it. And I said, this needs to go in my dark office. I don't know who this lady is, but I kind of love that she's overlooking me as I work.
We have this type of art often. I mean, as you know, you've seen our house now, you know we love oil paintings. So we have another one here in the office. We paired them with wall lights. This only just got finished yesterday. And there's a little bit of a trick that you can do is buy these rechargeable bulbs that you just have to click a button. And so you can use any wall light fixture you want. You don't need the wires already pre-installed. All you have to do is buy those rechargeable bulbs. Yeah. And that's exactly what we've done here.
Yeah, and I mean both these wall sconces took us like 20 minutes to hook up. I mean, a bit longer because he did like the wrong position. Like this one was like somehow over here. But these mistakes happen as you do a house flip.
You can't all be perfect, and sometimes you get measurements wrong when you drop out of college.
But yeah, so I just loved so this desk and this is all gonna stay. And I just really, really wanted a big centerpiece desk, and I think this one was perfect. I think it's nice to have that kind of like work countertop to be able to like have people at meetings and also working with you as you're here.
We can design our next project from here, all together.
Oh my
There's so much
God.
space.
I know, we can have like 10 people around here. It's perfect.
I mean, there is plans to redevelop this loft. What we could do is extend and add a balcony and like a little another room up here if we wanted, because we have views across central London over here, which is really, really lovely. But again, that's a little bit out of budget for now, so we're just gonna stick with this.
Yeah.
And I think the only immediate plans we have is to fill these empty walls behind you with the meaningful pieces that we've collected or earned, like trophies.
And do you remember what we wanted here?
What do we want?
Another bar.
Really?
Remember you said you wanted a bar?
Oh yeah. But this is
You
my
making me sound like an alcoholic. Another bar.
but I wanted my iced coffee bar.
Yeah, so this one's gonna be more of like a coffee station slash like old man whiskeys and scotches. Not that we drink that, but it would look so good in the space
fit the
with
aesthetic.
those old like, you know, glass. So yeah, I mean, you guys are seeing us literally develop this space as we're going. And I think also like there's a lot of rooms in our house that we're gonna end up doing little things too as we grow as interior designers and as our taste changes. But I think that's like also really cool about a house, and like it always changes.
Yeah. Wait, I've got one last thing that I think might look good behind us.
Oh, do you want to go get it?
Yeah.
Our pride and joy.
Okay.
Oh, my pride and joy. Perfect.
Well, I was hoping for a hook that was centered, so I could put it here.
Don't cover her face.
Sorry, but we could also put it on the room behind you.
Yeah. So so I mean, we have a lot. We have like two. We have two awards. So this is from, again, to showcase all my years of work on YouTube. That's when I surpassed 1 million. They don't give you any for 2 million, annoyingly. But yeah, so I mean, there's still a lot to do in this office. I mean, I think it's cool that we both have, you know, our kind of plaques. We still have a lot of things to do in this space. But I think so far we're going in the right direction. I just wanted that dark, color-drenched office, 70s funky vibe. And I think I got it. So what home means to me, I think there's a lot of different aspects, but as long as I'm in a space where I can look around and see bits and trinkets of things that have stories, that have told stories, and I overall just feel comfortable and relaxed. And I think that's how I think home should be. I think not only should you feel like, you know, you're happy with your space, but it shouldn't feel overwhelming either, to the point where you're walking into a space and you're stressed out. If I can just walk in and be like, like weights lift up my shoulders, like whatever happened at work that day or whatever's happened in my life, I can just sit down and like forget about it, and for that moment just be like very, you know, zen. And that's kind of all I look for in my spaces.
I think you touched on it a little bit, but it's those stories, especially with like a period property. We can talk so much about the history here when we host dinner parties and friends come around, but also like the artwork that we have. We can tell stories about where we found it from, what it means, like who the artist was. And I think for us, it's all about like hosting friends and family in the space that we created. That feels so special to us.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.